Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining in today's meeting. It's my first meeting as incoming Rotary President of Kilkenny. It's been a fantastic week locally with the Irish Golf Open held in Mount Juliet, which is a great show for Kilkenny on an international stage. It was announced this week that Made in Kilkenny's application for the World Craft Council, Craft City and Region has been awarded to Kilkenny. I'm sure you remember past President Ian had Gus Mabelson as a guest speaker talk to us regarding their proposed application this year. So I was hoping to share a picture just of them. Maybe you've all seen it. Look at that. Can you all see that picture?
Yes.
Wow, I'm moving on in the world, aren't I? I can do a Zoom meeting.
Yeah. That's Gus there on the second from that's Gus.
Yeah. There's a good friend of mine actually here is Rory Ledbetter from Jerpoint Glass.
Oh yeah.
And who else is in there? I don't really know. I don't know this guy with the bowl or what is that at the front. So anyway. So today I'd like to show our formal appreciation for past President Ian Coulter's highly successful year as Rotary President. I'll stop sharing this now. We don't need to keep looking at that. How do I do that? Ooh. Here, stop sharing. There we go. Now, Ian was possibly handed the most difficult year to take over, but he did a fantastic job. Week after week, he had amazing guest speakers such as Professor Linda Hogan, Ian Hamilton of the Sullivan's Brewery, Anne O'Sullivan of, is it Anne O'Sullivan?
Yes.
Anne O'Sullivan of the Butler Gallery, and the list goes on. Last week's guest speaker, Ian's son, Rian, gave a fascinating insight into his career at Bumpus and Par in London. If you haven't seen all the speakers, you can view Ian's YouTube channel. Ian and his team also successfully set up an I-Donate page and managed to continue and support a tradition in the Kilkenny Carlow Home Care team by Rotary Kilkenny. Well done to you all. Last Thursday evening, I'll share some pictures here again, if I can figure it out. Bear with me for a second. And share screen, where do we go? Sorry now guys. Here we go, can you see that? Yeah. Can you see that picture, everyone?
Yes, yeah.
Great.
Yep, coming through clearly, Stephen, yeah.
Looks good.
Last Thursday evening, some council members joined Ian and myself to hand over the Rotary chain of office. We had a lovely evening and it was great to see each other in person. There should be another picture there. That's my wife, Tanya, two kids, Harry and Lauren. It was a huge personal honour to be added to the long list of very fine Rotary presidents who stood before me, and hopefully I can represent the club as well as Ian and all who stood before him. So finally, I'd personally like to congratulate President Ian for keeping Rotary Kilkenny alive and well, and very much relevant over the last year. It was really a very successful year considering the times we're in. So that's really all I have to say. I know it's a short meeting, but whoops, go back here. And there's just one more slide there. No, that's wrong. Sorry lads, I'm really not good at this sharing the screen stuff.
Stephen, you're going to be an expert come this time next year, though.
I would have said the same. I said the same this time last year. Zoom became my best friend for a while.
That's it. Just do like we all do, which is make it up as you go along.
Wing it, yeah.
No, this was all carefully planned and thought out and carefully considered. There was no haphazard approach.
Yeah.
Believe that and you'll believe anything.
Is that Anselm there cruising?
Yeah, I'm just pulling in, guys. You're okay.
How are you doing?
Good. Very best of luck, Stephen, and well done, Ian.
Yeah.
Thanks, Alson.
Cool.
That's want to back me up on Ian's very successful.
Yeah,
Well,
I think it
you're
has to be
getting
said.
me
I think it
up,
has to be said, Ian. You were the man for the year, really. I mean, who could have brought such a wide variety of speakers? Only someone who has such a high diverse group of friends, network, professional relationships, such as yourself. I don't think anybody would have that drawer of people to tap into, and it certainly came true in abundance and benefited Rotary Kilkenny in a year when we were only virtual. And I have to say, you know, if the RT61 News interviewer or Brian Tuberty or any of those guys ever want to step aside, you'd certainly give them a run for their money in their interviewing technique. And it was very evident as well that you weren't making it up as you went along, and you had put a lot of preparation into every single interview, and the background and research work was done, which only helped the audience entertainment, really, with your way of interviewing. So well done, Ian. Well done.
Here.
I know that one of the things I was trying to do was to maintain the ethos of Rotary, and I would hope that that we'll be able to get that message out about what we're really about. I thought when I look back on the last year, a couple of the interviews stand out, but one of the most optimistic was from Connie Ovison, the district governor for last year. She was just so positive, and I hope that her successor manages to emulate her, and I look forward to him joining us at some stage during the year. You mentioned, you know, the network of friends and acquaintances that led to me asking them. I'm not sure how many of them will remain friends after I badgered them into completing the interview with us. But we have them all on record, and they're there again if anyone would like to look at them. One of the ones that I think we could circulate repeatedly is the one on how to make a will, or making a will won't kill you. That was one of the learning in conversations that we had. Most of them were anecdotal and talking to people about their lives, but that was one where someone was trying to show us how to do something, and there was a lot of learning in it. I know some people who watched it said that they realized that now they must relook at what they thought was done and secure in the past. Anyway, they're all there, and I'll circulate the channel to Stephen, so you can send an email out to people if they wanted to look at any of them again.
Would you share them to the general public on the Rotary Kilkenny Facebook page, or would that be a bit? Oh
yeah, we can. Yeah, that's there's nothing there that I wouldn't like others to see. So I created a separate channel for the church services that I do, but some of the earlier church services are on that channel. But I doubt if anyone would really want to watch them. But I'll put them. I'll give you the link to all of them, and then people can flick through and see what ones are most interesting.
Yeah, you'll probably get more of a drive to the page then if you put up one or two of them.
Yeah.
Especially Ian Hamilton from.
Yeah. That was actually the most viewed of them all. It was viewed over, I think, about 80 times. The next one was Tom Malloy's talk, and Greg Price from the HSE contact tracing service was another one that was watched over 80 times. So there are people that wouldn't have come to our lunch talk, you know. We'd never have, if you add the people who viewed it later and those who attended live, you're talking about over 100 people, you know. So
brilliant.
All spreading what Rotary can do, you know.
Yeah.
A few more joining us now. There's Sharon coming in.
See, normally we'd be having dinner now, so I haven't got a very long speech. I apologize to everyone.
Who wants a long speech, you know? I learned from of all people, Owen Harris, who was in the congregation when I was preaching many years ago, and he said the ideal length of a sermon is 7 minutes. And the same goes for most speeches. If they go over that, people have forgotten what you said at the beginning, and then they're waiting for you to finish. And if you're under that, you probably haven't made your point. So it was something I tried to adhere to. And that's about 1,000 words, I've learned, at the speed at which I speak anyway.
Anybody else have anything they'd like to say regarding Ian's fantastic year as president?
I think we look forward to your fantastic year, Stephen.
Yeah, sure. Look, I'll give it a go. The week of the 19th is Irish History Podcast. He's a cousin of my own. He's Finbar Dwyer, so that's something to look forward to. Next week I'm away, so I think it's my first break since August last year. I've literally worked every week and day for the last year, pretty much, and then took on this role as well.
Yeah. Where are you off to?
Just to Wexford.
Oh, lovely.
Wexford, yeah.
Yeah. The weather, I think, will be okay next week. We're off to West Cork. And so it's all. Now, for the future,
I hope
this
going
day,
to Skull.
sorry, Nora.
I hope you're not going to Skull.
As Baltimore, which is nearby, but I wouldn't dream of encroaching on the tourist trail that has already started in Skull. Have you listened to the West Cork podcast at all?
I listened to it. I thought it was very interesting.
Wasn't it?
I haven't watched any of the other.
No.
Yeah, it's very interesting. I think it's really well done. I think I'll go back and re-listen to it because it's a while ago. So I think I'll re-listen to it.
Yeah, they've added another episode to it in the last couple of weeks.
Okay.
But the two narrators were at the Boris Festival 2 years ago. The Boris Book, the Festival of Writing and Ideas.
Yeah.
Interviewed by Lara Marlowe. So it was. It's really riveting the way they've done it.
I listened to that as well, and I've just finished watching the Jim Sheridan one, 5 episodes, and there's absolutely no comparison. Jim Sheridan is highly dramatic and very repetitive, whereas the original podcast is very factual, very interesting, and I would invest time in that rather than Jim Sheridan's one. I haven't seen the Netflix one yet. But it's fascinating.
I'm watching the Netflix one.
Good.
Yeah.
I've seen 2 episodes of the Netflix one.
Yeah, apparently the Netflix one is it's made with the blessing, if you like, of the Duplantier family. So yeah. Yeah, it is interesting. The whole thing is interesting.
It is.
And the
I
fact
don't
that
think anybody will ever be convicted, unfortunately.
No. If I was sitting in the jury and heard all the evidence, I would just say not proven. If not guilty and not guilty, but just like the Scottish verdict, not proven.
Yeah. It must be very difficult for the family, though, to keep seeing Ian Bailey. You know, I mean, as troubled and as difficult and as miserable as his life is, you know, he's still walking around.
Yeah.
My sister met him. Does he have a kind of a market stall down in Skull?
A market stall, yeah.
My sister had just been raving about this program last week and sent back a picture Friday morning of herself and Ian at his market stall.
Oh, gee.
Yeah, he loves the attention.
Oh, absolutely addicted to attention. Yeah.
But look at how it's engaged us. You know, I mean, it's just so perplexing and so addictive.
Have we enough for a jury here? We have. Let's have a vote.
Yeah, there are 12 of us.
12 angry men and women. Yeah.
I want to know what farm the gate is hanging on.
Yeah.
What was that, Nora?
I want to know what farm the gate is hanging on.
Oh, yeah.
And that
They
gate.
say the gate is at the bottom of the sea, Nora.
I doubt anybody threw it away. I'd say it's painted up someplace.
Oh, and you'd wonder. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, you'd wonder. Everybody's very tight-lipped about it down there, though. It's
Yes.
yeah. Mm.
They've been hit with a few tragedies down in Cork, haven't they, in this year again?
Yeah.
Pretty horrendous one of 2 sons and a daughter.
Oh, the sons and the dad. Yeah. Land. Our obsession with land
Mm.
continues. Yeah.
Good old field.
Yeah.
I was speaking to Brendan Roberts, so he is going to contact, I know John Hurley, maybe you were asked or mentioned about John Burke in SuperValue, Lockboy, regarding the remembrance tree.
Oh yeah, I can certainly make contact there, but is Brendan doing something on that, or will I do it, just to make sure that we don't double do it, you know?
Yeah, Brendan's going to contact him.
Okay.
And he was kind of asking me, have we dates in mind? And I just said, no, we don't have dates, I suppose, but more, is it something that can happen, all going to plan with COVID? And also, would we be inside, outside? And then we can finalize the dates at a further, a later date we can push on with.
Would it be worth your while approaching the McCarthys? What's his name?
John.
Cora and is his name John McCarthy?
John is the father, yeah.
Yeah. Would it be worth approaching them directly rather than going through the manager?
Yeah, he's my uncle, so I don't see there being a major issue.
Okay.
We did collect out there last year, didn't we?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, no, I'm talking about Lockboy one, the McCarthys, Cora and I can't remember her husband's
They're
name.
they're Caulfields up there, aren't they? In Lockboy.
Yeah, it's McCarthy's though, isn't it? Cora and
There's John McCarthy, yeah, but going to John Burke is the manager there, and he has full sway really. I think it's the right way to go. But
yes,
Brendan is doing that anyway, and if he goes aground or whatever, sure, he can touch base with me, and we'll see if we can put something together.
Yeah.
But it has always been directly with John Burke.
I don't think we should
done it
disrupt
before.
Okay,
Yeah.
Eurospar then in New Park Shopping Centre, that they're related to myself, so I'll contact them personally.
Super.
Just to get that set in stone, and hopefully.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any need for a third location, is there?
No.
It's always Lockboy.
I'd say there is.
Well, if Market Cross is the other one as well, Steve, which they will be
You need
supportive
3
of. I'd say the problem will be that people will find it difficult to commit at this stage without knowing how things are going to unfold. But even if you can get a kind of a broad agreement to say, yeah, as long as we're allowed restrictions, you can be there. That'd be a big result,
Toward, yeah.
Yeah. And that's why I'm doing it early, July, I suppose, is probably, maybe it's not considered early, but I just feel that it's worth touching base with them, that they haven't forgotten about us.
Of course.
Just if I could comment, I agree completely. Get the locations first, but I was checking for all of the clubs in the zone. I was checking the COVID guidance from our GVI and district. They haven't changed fundamentally, but there is now an addendum to the standard risk assessment form for a public event. That includes COVID. So you probably need to run through just to do that so that the insurance is squared off.
Oh yeah. Sorry, Joe, I didn't really catch what you said there. It kind of went slurry.
I'm sorry. There is once the locations are you've got general commitment or basic commitment, and getting closer to the event, before we start face-to-face collections, we probably need to go through a risk assessment using the online risk assessment form that's available. There's a form that our insurers have available to us for unusual, but what they have asked is that we run through this form before we start face-to-face events to make sure that we minimize any risks. Now, it will very much depend, as Jason said, and I think as a few others have said, on what the geography of legislation is at the time. But at the moment, the insurers are saying, yeah, go ahead, but complete the risk assessment form.
Yeah. Okay. I suppose the other things we probably need to touch on then would be the charitable, whether we go Rotary Kilkenny as a charitable organisation, and then your tap-in device that I know Jason and Dermot have been investigating into. So they're all things that...
Yeah. I mean, every club in the zone, other than Carlow and Thurles, are looking into it. Clonmel are very keen, so are Waterford, because I know that Dermot, I know your reservations, and I can quite understand them, that this is going to land an obligation on trustees, members of the club that would be trustees for a lot of administration into the future. There is that, but I would strongly recommend that you have a conversation with the treasurer in Wicklow Rotary Club, because they have applied and gotten charitable trust status. But what it will do is it'll just free the club up to collect money as they want through tap and go means and through every means possible. The other thing is, I have a gut feeling that local authorities and the Gardaí are going to start tightening up in the years ahead on people collecting money on the street, and not having a charitable status may be difficult, because it will mean that we will have to use the charitable status number of the charity we're collecting for, and therefore the money has to go directly to them. It can't go into one of our accounts first. So I just think that if we can do it, charitable status will give the Rotary Club of Kilkenny a greater as the maximum flexibility into the future, and future-proof public collections for the club. That's just my view.
Yeah, we'll do the research, Joe and others, and document the pluses and the minuses, and make a club decision then. Yeah, and it may be the way to go.
I had a quick, for the smaller, depending on your turnover, the admin requirements are far less onerous. So you'd be a category A, or a category like Rotary Kilkenny would qualify for the least onerous requirements, because it would be a category type A organization. So it wouldn't be as difficult if you had a high turnover. It's less difficult than if you had a high turnover. Like if you're a regularly functioning charity that was out looking for donations on a day-to-day basis, to ensure its survival, or had a huge, had paid staff, or, all of that. The requirements are less onerous for a small voluntary-led organization like Rotary.
Very good. Okay, I don't think there's anything much to say. Is there anybody?
I have a question.
Yeah.
I have a question. I have a question for Joe. Does he know any club last year that used the tapping system?
Yeah, there are members, two clubs, Waterford, but they've had it for years, and they acquired it prior to the current legislation is in place, and they have a tap and go. They had a tap and go system. The money went straight to the hospice. That was the Waterford Hospice. And the other organisation related to Rotary that had a tap and go, I believe, was the Cork Remembrance Tree Collection, and that was of such scale that they were able to organise it.
Could I just make a comment or two, Stephen?
Yeah, go ahead, Jimmy.
Sure.
Thank you.
Good to see everybody, and on this lovely sunny day. I would agree with the comments made about becoming a charitable organization. I think it would open those avenues that Joe particularly mentioned. And also, we may in time be able to benefit from the maximizing of donations. As you know, when somebody gives more than €250 to a registered charity, that is beneficial from a tax perspective. So that could be an opening in the future. A lot of organizations have gotten extra revenue through that. Just one or two other housekeeping issues. Again, it's probably in hand by Stephen, but I would just suggest, seeing as hopefully the year is going to get back to normal, you might roll out a list of council meetings, scheduled council meetings, that people could put them in their diary, even up to Christmas, even if you don't have a whole lot to discuss. But I think it's good so that people can be thinking then of things to bring up. And just two things maybe for your first council meeting. I'll liaise with Sharon on this. I got a correspondence from the league, so it's a kind of a handing over issue. They were asking if people want to order crocus bulbs. You need to have the order in by August. So again, that would be something, I suppose, for the first council meeting, if that's going to be a feature in this year's fundraising for foundation, to have the order then in for the crocus bulbs. And just a second thing, and I suppose I'm sure it's in hand, but just a little reminder if it's not. One of the first tasks of any new council is to confirm with the RIBI that all the policies have been circulated, agreed and endorsed at the first council meeting. So again, to make sure insurance is in place and that everything is being done properly and above board, there is a suite of documentation. It's just a matter literally of taking a box and signing it, having the new president sign it and the new secretary, and send off a copy to the authorities so that that's in place. So I'll send those two things to you, Sharon. I'll send you the correspondence about the crocuses and also just the policy documents and the ones that have to be signed. And it's always good then, just in a future correspondence, to just send a reminder copy of them to all the members, just to keep everything in order. Okay. And again, Stephen, I wished you many times best wishes, but can't do it too much. It'll be a good year, and enjoy.
Thanks, Jimmy. Thanks very much. No, they're great tips there. The crocus bulb, I had forgotten about that, so that's great. Thank you.
I'll circulate the email addresses of all the members to you, and all the mobile phone numbers.
That'd be great, yeah. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I couldn't set up tonight. Well, I could have, but I probably would have been up till 4 o'clock this morning typing in all the email addresses. Okay, sure. I think we'll call it a day. Really appreciate you all coming along. And I hope that we can start meeting face to face, even if it is outdoors. The 19th, we'll have Finn Dwyer, Irish History podcast, and the 26th, I'd definitely like to do face to face outdoors, Butler Gallery, maybe Roadhouse Gardens, whichever becomes available. Whether we have to bring a packed lunch, like a school trip, or we'll discuss further. And the council meeting that I had planned, I'd like to go ahead with Thursday the 22nd at 8 p.m. If anybody has an issue or can't attend, let me know.
Yeah, I'll be still on holiday that week, but if I can join in if there's mobile coverage, I'll join in.
I'll send you down a dongle.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thanks very much. And really, I'd like to congratulate Ian for what was a fantastic year. Really was exceptional. You had amazing speakers, and well done.
Thanks very much, Stephen, and good luck in all that you're taking on in the coming year. You're getting off to a great start. Well done.
Yep, I'll do my best.
Okay, I'll circulate a recording of today's meeting for those who couldn't make it. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Take care, all.
Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.